remember how to do these things. Roll the titles. So I'm back filming for the first time in a long time, and I hate doing these sorts of videos where it's like a catch-up and it's just me talking. I prefer doing these sorts of videos where I'm actually doing something, and there's a big thing coming up which is good, and I will be filming a lot of that, which I'm super excited about. But this is sort of a catch-up to explain sort of why I've been AWOL for like over a year now, I think it is, since the last Life with Bev. Basically, it started with something good, which was last year on Black Friday. And for those of you watching who aren't in the UK, we have a shop over here called Iceland, and it's like a frozen food specialist shop, and they do like loads of different foods and everything like that. Like it is a really good shop anyway. And on Black Friday they ran a competition whereby you ordered online of any amount. You didn't have to do like a massive order, and you'd get to spin this wheel. Now the bottom prizes were like 50p off your next shop, maybe a fiver, something like that. And the top prize was a year's free shopping worth £2,500. So I was actually on this bed, and Sonny had come over. I didn't have food in. I was kind of like in a bit of a bad place, and I put the order in. And the minimum amount that you could order, I think, was like £25. Otherwise they just wouldn't really deliver it, or they charge you, I think, now. So I was on the bed. The order I put in was actually for £29. Like, it wasn't a massive order. And I saw people had written on Twitter, and this woman was going on, she's like, I've spent hundreds and I only got a £5 off voucher. You know, like thinking, well, the more I spend, the bigger my prize is going to be. So I put this order in for £29, and it goes to the order confirmation, and then just takes me onto this page, and it's like you can spin the wheel. So I'm like, okay. And I kept pressing the wrong button. Like, I kept pressing for like terms and conditions or something like that. So the page was like refreshing loads, and I'm like, I'm doing this wrong. Right? I obviously haven't found the right button. And when I did press it, it spun round and round and round, and I'm thinking, oh, you know, like 10p off voucher or something like that, like, you know, the crap prize. And it came up on my screen and said, congratulations, you've won a year's free shopping. So I'm kind of confused by that, and I'm thinking, well, does that mean that order that I've put in, they're just going to repeat for a year? because that was kind of like a shitty order. Like, I don't need that every week or whatever. I don't know how this works. And it still didn't sink home. I think I put the order in at like about 5 o'clock or something like that. And me and Sonny were going out for tea. And yeah, I got the phone call from Iceland and they confirmed that I'd won the prize. That someone would be in touch with me over the next couple of weeks, like days and whatever. And that, yeah, the prize was not actual cash. It was through the Iceland bonus card. And they would put on a set amount per week for a year. And that would be my year's free shopping. And I've had that now. It's, well, at the time of filming this, it's just short of the year. I only have a couple of weeks left of it. And that has been an absolute lifesaver. It genuinely has. The disability benefits that I'm on got cut. So I was left down. It works out like at about £100 a month that was taken off me. For no reason, nothing actually changed, but such is the way that the benefit system works. And I honestly think without this prize I would have struggled over the past year. It would have been beyond tough. And I can't explain how thankful I am to Iceland for this prize. It's done me amazingly well. And yeah, that was brilliant. The next part of the year for last year and the beginning of this year wasn't so good. It started just before Christmas, a couple of days before, and I was really unwell. And I know I'm going to get emotional on this bit. I was really unwell, like full on the flu, horrible thing. And I ended up saying to my brother, my mum and my nana that I was like, I'm really sorry, I'm going to have to miss out on this Christmas. Like, I'm really not well and I don't want to pass this on to people. And then it turns out my mum also got it. And yeah, the thing that we didn't want was for my nana to get it, because she was 91 and frail, really. So yeah, that was our main concern. We had Christmas and it was enjoyable. It was, you know, it was just being together, having some amazing food, really good company. It was lovely. And then we woke up on Boxing Day about 5:30 in the morning, something like that, and my nana was coughing, like really coughing. And I'm thinking, oh no, she's caught this. She caught it off me. Oh shit. So she came through into the living room and she just looked washed out. Like, oh god, she felt awful. Definitely starting with what it was that I had and what my mum had. I don't know why my brother didn't get it, because honestly at no point did he actually get it. That's kind of amazing. I wish I had his immune system. So I went home on the Boxing Day, and the plan was that my nana was going to stay in my brother's flat, and my mum and my brother were going to go out to go and see some friends, have a few drinks, that sort of thing, and it was going to be fine. And then obviously with how unwell my nana was, I still came home, and then when my mum sort of got back to my brothers and they said, right, we're going to phone for an ambulance, because over here in the UK we have 999, which is emergency, and we have, oh my god, let me get this right, I think it's 111, which is the non-emergency ambulance service. And what that basically does is goes through a load of questions with you, and they will decide yes, you need an ambulance, or no, just go and see your doctor. And so they did all the symptoms, and they said, well, because she's frail and because of her age, we're going to send out an ambulance crew anyway, just to be extra safe, which is fine. I loved it. And yeah, they did all the tests, and they said, well, it sounds like it's just a chest infection. We advise go to A&E because we don't have medication, but they do, and they can prescribe you with medication. You probably just need like antibiotics for a couple of weeks. You'll be right as rain. So off they went to A&E, and A&E said, we're going to keep you in, to her, which she wasn't. She was not impressed about, because she hates hospitals, and I don't blame her. And over the next couple of days, they said, you know, this is pneumonia. You've had it for quite a while. Pneumonia, unfortunately, is one of them things you don't know it's there. It will show symptoms eventually, but you can have it for months and not even realise it. So they said, okay, we're going to start you on medication and all that sort of thing. And yeah, time went on. We had New Year's, and she was still in hospital for that. And I was here in mine one day, and I got the phone call off my mum to say, we've had a call from the hospital and we need to go in. So I'm thinking, oh shit, this is it. Fuck, brace yourself, because, you know, this can happen. And we went in. They'd moved her off one ward during the night into this like private room on a different ward, and she hadn't slept. She looked like shit, and she felt it, and it was heartbreaking to see. The nurse that was with her that day treated her as if it was her grandmother, and it was really nice to see. It was lovely. I loved that nurse to bits. And we got me Nana to eat a little bit because she hadn't been eating. And then, yeah, over the next couple of weeks after that, she ended up on a feeding tube, because they said that she's eating, but it's not enough for her to get all the nutrients. So if we put this feeding tube in, then that's going to help feed her. Basically, it gives her all the vitamins and everything. So we were like, that's fine, do it. And then she got moved again onto a different ward, into a private little room, which was lovely, really nice little room. And I think at this point she'd been in about 5 weeks, something like that. And we were in one day, and the doctor came round. No, it was the doctor's assistant that came round, like a junior doctor type thing, and he said, you know, we've been trying medication, and it's not having the impact that we want it to. And you know, when you feel something, that someone is trying to say something to you but they're not directly saying it. And it forced the conversation with me, my mum and my brother about, okay, because this junior doctor said the main doctor wants to see you with regards to future treatment. So we're like, okay. And we had to have the conversation of, You know, if the doctor puts to us that they can continue treatment, but it might not have any effect, or we can withdraw treatment, what do we want? And it's a horrible decision. It's a horrible, horrible decision to be in, to have to make. But you have to think of the person's best interests, and you can see the person in front of you. And doctors know if there is a chance of someone surviving, and you can only listen to their best advice. And we decided, okay, listen to the doctor, and take it from there. But if the advice is to withdraw treatment, we have to. It will be horrible. It's not what we want. But if it's going to be best for her, it's got to be done. So we went in on the Monday, and she was awake, she was talking some absolute bollocks, actually, if I'm honest with you, because she'd had other infections that made her go a little bit doolally while she was in there. And yeah, the doctor came in, and he was like, "How are you?" And she was like, "I really don't feel well." And he asked to see the family outside the room, and I knew what was coming. And we'd already spoken about it in the car. So I said, "It's okay, you two go and talk to the doctor, I'll stay in with Nana." And yeah, doctor's advice was, we've had her on antibiotics for 5 weeks, and not only has she not improved, she's actually gotten worse. Our advice would be to withdraw treatment and allow nature to take its course. And they're horrible words to hear when you love someone. So it came to February, which is when we got told, you know, we're going to withdraw the treatment. And they did that. They withdrew the treatment. And what that basically means is that they take out the feeding tube. They stop giving food in any way. She carried on with the oxygen. And at some times during, because she lived for another few days after they withdrew treatment, and at times she was suffering, and it was horrible to see. But then they come in with painkillers, and that'd knock her over for a few hours. So you're like, okay, she's at rest for a bit. And then we were in there one day, and I'd just gone out for a cigarette, and I came back in and I sat down, and we'd sort of been told by other people, like, the signs to look for that they're going. And one of them was cold hands. And when I sat down and felt her hand, it was freezing. And I remember looking at her face, and the colour in her lips was just draining away. And within a few minutes, she started doing this really weird breathing. And I always remember my brother stood up and he was like, "What do I do? Do I go and get a nurse?" And my mum just said, "No, just be here, because it's time." she's going, you know, just be here. It's, yeah, it's happening. And it happened. She passed away in the afternoon. And I had to face one of my biggest fears, which is life without her. I was really, really close with her, and she's gone. And I still have a hard time with it, as you can tell. It was horrible saying goodbye, but you know that that person's at rest, at peace, because she wasn't suffering anymore. And I did a speech at her funeral, which actually it worked out really strange, because we'd been working literally non-stop since she passed, clearing out her flat, you know, sorting out who wants this, who wants that. I don't even remember there being like a proper will, but we talked about everything. And my nana, for a long, well, not a long time, but for a while before she actually passed, had said to us all, you know, this is what I want to happen when I go. And we made it happen for her, which is lovely. So I sat down with my mum and my brother, and we tried to work out what was going to go in this fucking speech, because I'd think, oh, we'll put this in, it'll be a funny memory, and then my brother or my mum would be like, no, not for a funeral. And it was really difficult, and I managed to write this speech thing, and it was like, I don't really feel that. And then it was the night before her funeral, and it was the first time since she'd passed that I didn't have anything to do. You know what I mean? My suit was all ready at my mum's. Everything was in place. Nothing to do. And I sat down with my phone, and on Facebook, of all places, I wrote a letter to Nana. And I posted it, and I think it was about 10 minutes later I got a phone call from my mum, and I'm thinking, oh shit, she's seen it, she hates it, she's going to say take it off, you're disgusting, blah blah blah. And I answered the phone, and she just said, what you've put on Facebook is, and then there was this long pause, and I'm thinking she's going to say it's like horrible, it's disgusting, it's something. She went, perfect, forget about the speech, I want you to read that tomorrow. And I was like, oh wow, okay. So I read that speech, and that was, you know, it was very hard to do. You know, I've spent years on stage. I've hosted international film screenings. I've had crowds of like 300 people in front of me, and not found it as difficult as a little speech at a funeral. It's really weird. But I like to think I did her proud, so that was good. And yeah, that was a horrible, horrible start to the year. It did improve though this year. It wasn't all doom and gloom, and this is why it's really confusing and kind of why I'm back. Because in 3 days now from filming, I'm off to San Francisco, and I'm going to see Cher. I can't get my head around it. This is going to be amazing. And what had happened was, I think it was like, oh my God, months ago now. And there is a radio station in the UK called Jack Radio. And they had this poll type thing on their website, but I saw the advert on Facebook, so I just clicked on it. And it was nominate your most favourite female artist of all time, doesn't matter if they're dead or alive. So I'm like, there's only one. Sure. So I sent that off, didn't hear anything. And then I got a phone call out of the blue. And I'm thinking, oh, that's something I'm not going to like here. And I answered, and it was a woman called Belinda. And I'm like, oh, hi. She's like, yeah, you entered in our competition. And I'm thinking, I enter in a lot of competitions. I don't normally win. And she went, you know, you nominated Cher. And I'd just like to let you know, Cher came in 8th in our poll. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, you know, well done, Cher. Like, wasn't really expecting a phone call to tell me, but okay, whatever. And she goes, and at random, you're our competition winner. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, that's great. And she went, do you remember what the prize is? And I'm like, no. And she said, the prize is that you can pick any artist in the world, anywhere in the world, to go and see them. We will get you to that gig. We will give you 5 nights accommodation at least a 4-star standard with breakfast included. We will fly you standard class anywhere in the world. And we will arrange like transport to and from the airport to the hotel, and from the hotel to the gig and back. Does that sound okay? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds fine. And she said, I remember her saying like, okay, now that I've told you, can we record a little bit for radio that we can play? So I'm like, yeah. So we did this recording thing, and I, honest to God, I must have sounded like the worst meth ever. Like, I must have sounded so awful. Because I was in shock. I was like, oh, I don't win these things. Like, I don't know. And she said, have you any idea who you want to go and see? And I'm like, Cher. Straight away, I was like, Cher is on tour. It's called the Here We Go Again tour, and she's on it, and I want to go and see her. And it's true, I did actually want to go and see her because she came to the UK with this one. Like, the past, I think it's like the past 3 tours that she's done, just completely ignored the UK. But she's coming over with this one, and I thought, I want to go and see her. So we looked for the Manchester Arena, which is like an arena near to me, the nearest one that she was coming to. And tickets started when they went on sale at like nearly £200 a ticket. And those are for like the seats way over at the back, and we're like, well, I'm not paying that. And yeah, I had to look around Cher's tour schedule, and you know, yeah, she's going off and she's doing some amazing places like Toronto, but I've already been there. She's doing Vegas, but I don't really want to go to Vegas. It doesn't sell itself to me. And she's going to San Francisco, and I thought, okay, well, I kind of want to go to San Francisco anyway, because I think it's an amazing destination. I would love to go to it one day. It is the home of Gay, basically. And one of my favourite films to watch is called Milk. And it follows the story of Harvey Milk, who did this incredible speech. In fact, take a look at this.
Somewheres in Des Moines or San Antonio, there's a young gay person who all of a sudden realizes that she or he is gay, knows that if the parents find out, they'll be tossed out of the house. The classmates would taunt the child. and the Anita Bryans and John Briggs are doing their bit on TV, and that child had several options. Staying in a closet, suicide, and then one day that child might open a paper and it says homosexual elected in San Francisco, and there are two new options. The option is to go to California, or stay in San Antonio and fight. 2 days after I was elected, I got a phone call, and the voice was quite young. It was from Altoona, Pennsylvania, and the person said, "Thanks. And you've got to elect gay people so that that young child and the thousands upon thousands like that child know that there's hope for a better world. There's hope for a better tomorrow. Without hope, not only gays, but those blacks and the Asians and the disabled, the seniors, the us's, without hope, the us's give up. I know that you cannot live on hope alone, but without it, life is not worth living. And you've got to give them hope. Thank you very much.
So you can kind of see why I want to go. Because I want to go and see, as morbid as it sounds, I want to go and see where he was shot. I want to go and see the stairs that he walked. I want to go and see the Castro Theatre. I want to go and see the biggest, most flamboyant drag queen I can find. I want to wear flowers in my hair. I want to go. So I got in touch with Belinda and I said, okay, I want to make this happen in San Francisco. And she went, I've had a look on and the seats aren't going to be that amazing for Cher. Like, you're kind of at the back. But for Las Vegas, I can get you front row tickets. We've been given like a list of places to go. We're going to try the sourdough bread because that's supposed to be really good over there. We've been told to go to Pier 9, I think, to watch the sunset, because apparently you get Alcatraz and the Golden Gate Bridge and the sunset, and apparently it's really nice to see, so we're going to try and see that. So I've, with the help of my mum, a hell of a lot, had to get like loads of new clothes, had to kind of tart myself up a little bit. Like, I got my hair cut today, which is why it looks acceptable at the minute, because I didn't style this. And yeah, so I'm really excited for it, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, this isn't real. Like, this does not happen to me in the year that I don't have to pay for my shopping. Like, what the fuck is going on? And I definitely, because I mean, the tickets for the Cher tour, they came up after my nana had passed away. And I think she, because, you know, I believe in this other realm thing, whatever it is. And I think she knew that the three of us wanted to go, me, my mum and my brother. And with this competition, okay, yeah, only two of us can go. But I think my nana was involved in me winning. Definitely think it. Or believe it, should I say. And that has been kind of my year. It's been shitty, it's been amazing. It's a hell of a roller coaster, and that's all I can say. I have missed filming it, and I do regret not filming certain bits of it. But I'm back on now. Make the most of me. So, the next couple of videos that you're going to see on Life with Bev are going to be when I was in San Francisco. I still can't believe it. Oh my god. So, with all that in mind, I will see you next Wednesday.
can't really say why I want to tour. I've never had a plan. It's like someone said, oh, do you have a 5-year plan for your career? I don't have a 5-minute plan for my career. My favorite thing is being on stage, and I've had great audiences in my life. It's like playing tennis. It's like if you give off a lot of energy, then they give a lot of energy back. The show is going to be a little bit different. I'm adding new songs to it, trying some new things and some new technology. There'll be some point where I can't tour, you know? It'll get to be a place where I can't do it. And I don't want to think, I wish I would have done more now that I can no longer do it, because I still enjoy it, I still sing well, and I just want to do it till I'm finished.